11 o'clock in the morning, and at the moment we're doing a wee bit of location scouting. Behind us we have these lovely high mountains, makes for a beautiful panoramic, especially with the elevation. We're slightly higher up at the moment, looking across the road on those jagged mountains. And then you can see behind me as well, we have all these mountains. I think that's going to make for a very beautiful composition. It's bitter cold. I think we're about -1 degrees Celsius at the moment. So all the lochs all behind me are completely frozen. And we have these mountains behind, which we know one names as Black Mount. I have Fred, who's currently setting up his drone at the moment, rubbing it in a little bit. And I know after seeing this and probably seeing his footage, I'm going to have to go out and buy one. Camera set up, polarizing filter on there, and I've got my one-stop soft grad and one-stop hard grad on there. Basically the sky's just looking a bit plain, and just introducing these graduated filters is just adding a little bit of depth and a bit of darkness into those clouds. Got these snowy peaks, which are really nice and lovely. Again, I'm finding myself shooting in black and white. I think I'm going to set it up and do a couple of wide angle shots, and then also crop in and do some panoramic stitches and see how that turns out. So working on a panoramic stitch, tripod head level, my aperture f11, 25th of a second, shutter speed, ISO is 100. As I said before, I've got these two one-stop filters, a hard grad and a soft grad, polarizing filter on. And basically what I've done is a series of 6 shots, and I'm overlapping by about 25%. So when I stitch them all together in a panoramic, it should come across all over. The filter's at a different angle, so one's higher up than the other. The soft grad is coming over the mountains, and then the hard grad is just above the mountain tops, just to give that bit of depth into the and some dark detail into the sky. And then I've kept that right across the board along the really top. I'm looking towards the mountain at the moment, and I can see that the wind's starting to pick up above the mountain and the snow's starting to blow. So I'm now in my head maybe thinking about putting on 70 to 200 and zooming into that location, and to see if I can get something with that snow along the top. So these are the hobbit houses where we're going to be staying, and it's fantastic. It really is. I mean, these are £30 a night, so absolutely nothing, and you can see the view is what we're going to be photographing. We've just spent the last 20 minutes, half an hour driving along this windy single track road, which you can see is behind me, coming across with near misses with deer and stuff, and it's miserable. Behind me is this loch-in. It's a small loch, small little lake, a loch-in-ur I think it's called, and you have these mountains that are up behind me here. And the initial plan was for sunset was up this way. Above here is a huge mountain which reflects down nice onto the water, and with hopefully the sunset, which would have come straight through this valley right in front of me, added some nice sunset light on there. As you can see, we have nothing but fog, mist, drizzle, horrible rain that just sticks to your lens. So the initial plan now is we've kind of made a decision. We are actually going to head back into Fort William, which is probably our nearest biggest town. And being at sea level, this kind of fog might have disappeared. And there's some lovely places where I was yesterday, where we got the sunset yesterday, and hopefully we're going to get some better weather there. So we'll jump back in the car and let's drive. Since we left the last location, we were driving back more inland towards Fort William. Halfway through Glencoe, where we are just now, this cloud formation and the mountains behind us have started to come out really nice. We also have right behind me here this quite dramatic mountain. But the light's failing, even though here it looks quite bright, it is getting quite dark. But what's happening is these clouds above me are just coming in and out, in and out. So we set up composition, we're all behind here, set up composition, and we've just got this mountain here, and we're coming in all the way down to where that mountain is just there. That's the main focus. And then there's a higher mountain which has got a lot of snow behind it, and then the hope that that cloud's going to kind of clear and introduce the into the mountain behind. So the light is failing really fast, and at the moment I've got two filters on. I've got a one-stop soft graduated and a one-stop hard graduated. Soft grad is coming down over the mountain, and the hard grad is just coming just above the mountain, and really it's just to give some detail in the cloud behind, so that when I photograph it, it comes out with a bit of detail. Right now I've got an ISO 100, f11, and shooting on an 8-second exposure, and even that's coming out really dark. It's very overcast, it's a little bit drizzly, we're getting very little colour in the actual picture, even though in this video it looks really colourful. It's not really coming out much, and I think personally a black and white is gonna come out a lot better, which has kind of been the story of the picture this last few days. The black and white is just really catching my eye, becoming more interesting. Yeah, that's coming out really nice and dramatic and really moody. Don't think we'll be here for too much longer. It's getting a little bit wet, cameras are starting to get a little bit wet, and I think the warmth of the micropod is calling. So all in all, at least we were out. We got something, hopefully. Good morning everyone. We are now on day 3 of this trip. It's the last day before I head home today, and the rain has come. So last night it got pretty miserable. There was no sunset. We did get some nice pictures, just kind of the dramatic mountains in Glencoe, but once we arrived back home, that rain just started, and it's that horrible drizzle that just sticks to everything. But we're up early. We're back in the same location that it was at yesterday. I've got a couple of people with me today, so kind of showing them the ropes, but sadly there's very unlikely that there's going to be any sunrise today, but we're going to give it a go. You never know what you're going to get, and that's the thing. You know, we woke up, it was raining, it was cloudy, and it was just really miserable. But for me, it's better to come to the location, get set up, and wait it out, because you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, within 5 minutes, that rain could completely disappear. The clouds could lift, the sun could come out, and we can get an amazing sunset. Sunrise. I've been doing that, mixing them up. Sunrise. That's the goal. Worst case scenario, we go back to our hut. We get a cup of coffee, we dry up, and we go and location scout. But the good thing is there's no other photographers here at the moment, so you know we are pretty much the only one here, considering yesterday there was quite a few. So right, it's getting wet now. So we're in between rain showers at the moment. It's coming in, it's pretty heavy, it's that rain that sticks and is really miserable. But the good thing is when that rain clears, as you can see behind me right now, the valley just clears out. These mountains have got these clouds coming over them, and it's really nice. My main focus is coming away from where there's potential sunrise to the mountains that are behind me, where these clouds are coming in and out, and just creating really nice dramatic effect. Composition setup, shooting this mountain that's behind me, you can see here, portrait mode, and there's a stone just in front of me here, so that's in my foreground, that's my main focus point on there. And at the moment I'm using no filters, which is very unusual for me, but it's really just because of this rain. It comes in, washes out the filters, and it gets a little bit miserable. So at the moment I'm leaving it out. What I am doing though is I'm bracketing my shots, hoping from there I can then digitally introduce kind of that detail in the cloud. which is not a great deal amount, but there is some blue sky starting to come through, so that might add a bit of detail. So far, touch wood, that this rain has stayed away as well for the last 5-10 minutes, which allowed me to get some shots in. So we're going to risk it. The rain has stayed off and it's looking quite clear behind me where the rain's been coming in. So we're going to make some risk and add a couple of filters. Keep it nice and simple. Add a one-stop hard graduated filter, and I'm going to focus it down just to the summit of the mountain where it is quite darker already, just to hold back that cloud and hold back some detail, and then just slide that filter down so it's going to cover the mountain, and that looks quite nice, and I'm getting that little bit of tones of greyness coming from the cloud. That's going to add a bit of detail. Big difference that's made. Very happy with that. I was reading a fantastic book yesterday by David Dushman called The Soul of the Camera, and I highly recommend this book to any photographer, especially if you're going through that kind of dry spell of struggling to be creative. This book is brilliant, you know, and they teach you all about patience and you know, going with your heart and what feels right rather than what you should do. And yesterday I'm very pleased that I stuck with the composition with the mountain rather than really concentrating on the sun rays, because that is what interested me. That interested everyone else, but this interested me. And that's the thing with taking pictures, is it's for me, no one else. Someone else likes my picture, bonus, brilliant, excellent. But when you take a picture, you take a picture for yourself. And as long as you like it, that's all that matters. And it's very, very important that you do that. And I think in this day and age with social media being so strong, and we're uploading pictures in the hope that we're accepted and it's liked by everyone else, this takes over from the actual reason why we're taking pictures. It's also the same with, you know, the quality over quantity, and something I see a lot of people doing is uploading 20-30 pictures from their one trip, and their 20-30 pictures, they're okay, but the good ones are usually, you know, diluted because of all the other ones around it. It's always better to just upload a couple of pictures, 1 or 2 pictures at most. Make sure they're not the same, make sure they're very different. My goals every year is I want 12 good pictures a year. That's all I want is 12 pictures. If I can get 12 pictures a year, you know, you can think of it as one a month, but I could be one location for today and walk away with 3 pictures that are different and I'm happy. But 12 pictures a year, and I'm very, very happy, and that's my goal. And it's not setting the bar too high, but that needs to be 12 pictures that I'm just like, yes, this has been a good year. And I think I'm at that at the moment. I think I'm quite happy this year. So with changing the composition, what I've done is I've introduced the one-stop hard graduated filter. And normally these hard graduated filters could be a bit of a nightmare. They leave a line along the bottom. What we've done is we've got the mountain, Buckle and Ettamore here, and the hard grad filter is come down, and it's actually stopped right at the snow line just here. And the reason why this has worked is because you can see that it's really bright just over this way, and that just seems to be a line right across. So as that hard grad has come down, it's holding back the light behind here, it's holding back the light on the mountain, and it's just, you know, with a nice good 40-second exposure, which is what I've just done, it's blended in really nicely, and you don't see that line that you often get with hard grad filters. So it's worked out really nice. Got the cottage left hand side, just to give it perspective, so you can give you the size difference between the cottage and the mountain, and it's coming out really nice. That cloud's starting to come in a bit more, and there's a bit of detail coming in along the top, which is really good. It gives it that bit of character as well. So stay here for a little bit longer, see if it's going to change much. Very happy.